Hello, BookTube. I went out just briefly today. Wasn't much. I wasn't up for much. But having been out amongst the general population, uh, I had several of the same thoughts keep coming back to my mind over and over and over again, and I thought I would share them with you. I realize that on this channel I don't often deviate from books and book subjects. I'm going to do that in this video just briefly. You can ignore it if you want. I'll clearly mark it so that you know. Uh, I'm going to deviate from books just a little, but I'm not deviating as far from books as you might think. Because although this video is not about books, it is about book readers who are, after all, human, and I want them to be here next year the way they are now. I want there to be more of them. So, we're going to talk about basic precautions, a basic primer for plague. Okay? We're going to talk about some basic things here. There are 4 basic things that I want to go over with you in a quick video, just as a reminder. I'm sure you already know these things, just as an emphatic reminder, having been today exposed, quite literally, to large segments of the population here in Boston that obviously do not know these things. Okay? So, thing number 1. Thing number 1. Cover your mouth when you cough. And by that I don't mean this. And then you're waving this around. I mean this. Do this. Cough into your elbow or into your shoulder. Okay? Not just some of the time, but all the time. Every time that you cough, do this. Cover your whole lower face and cough into that. Every single time. Okay? And do that even when you're alone. Do that even when you're in your own little book room. Because otherwise, you don't know what you are expectorating out onto flat surfaces all over your room, and you don't know how long that something will last. So just get into the habit, as primer point number 1, of coughing into your elbow or into your shoulder. Okay? All right. That's thing number 1. Thing number 2. If you are coughing, if you are sick, if you feel sick, do not go to work. Do not allow your child to go to school. Do not go out into the population if you are communicable. And, you know, when it comes to this point, I'd really rather not hear anything about how, well, you know, I gotta work. I only get so many days off from work. If you are sick, you are endangering people, especially if you're sick in the season of a pandemic, much less 2 pandemics. Over 10,000 people have fallen victim to the flu in America just this season, just this flu season. And that's just the flu. Not to mention any other pandemics that might be hovering around on the horizon. So, if you're sick, quarantine yourself. Stay away from other people. Don't go to work sick with a ardor complex. Okay? Don't do it. just don't do it. Thing number 3 would be for you to remember, if you are sick, or even if you're not, even if you want to prevent yourself from getting sick, I want you to remember the biggest organ in your body, the most despised organ in your body, and the most effective organ in your body, and that is your skin. I want you to remember your skin. Okay? Your skin is a miracle, designed to protect you from the pathogens of the world, and from pressures of any kind. And it does so to a remarkable extent. If somebody jumps off the Empire State Building and falls all the way to the concrete on the ground, it will be the membranes of their orifices that will give way under the pressure and extrude the contents of their body. It will not be their skin. It'll be something else. But your skin, the skin is almost always intact in such cases. Your skin is designed to protect you from being infected with all kinds of things. But the problem is, you have to experience the outside world. You have to see it, you have to hear it, you have to eat it. So I want you to remember your skin. Your skin can't be everywhere. It can't do everything. So don't put your fingers inside your mouth. Not for any reason. Not at any time. If you do that, you yourself have broken the seal that otherwise your skin provides for you. So if you feel like you've got a corn seed stuck back there somewhere, wait and get it out with an instrument that you have sterilized first. Get it out with... obviously, you want to run your toothbrush under scalding hot water regularly. Obviously, you want to do that. I don't know if you do or not, but you should. But get that corn seed out that way. Don't stick your finger inside your mouth if you have a piece of grit in the corner of your eye. Resist the temptation to remove it with your finger, which has been everywhere, which has been stickily slurping up every single kind of junk on every surface that it has touched for the last 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours. Don't stick that on the permeable membrane of your eye. Don't do it. Instead, wait and use a cloth. Gently daub your eye with a cloth. And we'll end this little 4-point primer on the plague where we began, with coughing. You cough into your elbow or into your shoulder. But that doesn't address the more basic question, which is how you stop yourself from having anything to cough about. And that is washing your hands. A very, very simple thing. Wash your hands. Now, you will hear bro-tube health nuts, the kind of kids who are they're lucking out on good genetics, so they're in their mid-20s. They're roasting tobacco addicts, and they have massive alcohol addiction, and they don't do any cardio, which is the best thing for you because they can't, because they're tobacco addicts, and if they did any cardio, they would hawk up a lung. But they still have channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they still make sententious Instagram posts about how if you dream it, you can be it. Be a lion, all that sort of stuff about healthy living. They don't live healthy at all. And one of the things you'll hear them say when they talk about washing your hands is, yeah, you should do it, dudes. I mean, you don't have to be obsessive about it or anything. I'm here to tell you, be obsessive about it. Be absolutely Rain Man about it. Okay? Wash your hands all the time. Whenever they have any kind of contact with the outside world, wash them. Especially wash your hands before you intake anything into your body that your hands have touched. In other words, eating. Anything that you do like that. Wash your hands first if you go to a bookstore and your books are handling all sorts of things. You go to a library book sale and your hands are handling all kinds of things. You don't have any idea if the last person that handled that didn't wipe it all over with something that can live for an hour, 2 hours, even 2 days on those surfaces and is just waiting to latch onto some other biological organism. When it latches onto you, you're still safe because of your skin. But if you introduce it into your body, then your skin can't help you. And 9 times out of 10 nowadays, your immune system can't help you either. So wash your hands before every meal, after every workday, after every workout, after every bookstore visit. Wash your hands. And as long as we're doing a primer, let's go over how you wash your hands. Okay, let's do that. Just to make sure we're all on the same page, because I saw a lot of people today that have never heard any of this. Never heard any of this. Step number 1 in washing your hands. Wait for the water to come hot. Washing your hands with cold water is not nearly as effective as under hot water. And I don't mean warm. I mean hot. So that if you weren't actively moving your hands, it would be painful for you to keep your hands under that water. I want it to be on that edge, definitely, because that's when you know if the water temperature is at that level, then the things that you want to kill on your hands are in fact dying. Then, once you have the water at that level, you want to incredibly briskly wash your hands. Not this and then you're done. Incredibly briskly. You can use a soap, hot water, steaming hot water that would be painful if you weren't moving your hands is good enough. But soap is also great. You can add that on. And you want to make sure to get the cracks inside. You want to make sure to get the backs of your hands. And you want to make sure to get up well past your wrists. Think of the doctor TV shows, ER or whatever, that you've seen where the surgeons are scrubbing for surgery. That's exactly what they're doing. They're disinfecting their hands. Okay? You want to do the same thing. And for the same reason, to save a life, only it's yours instead of the person in the operating room. You want to do that vigorously under hot water, and you want to do it long enough. And there's a handy little thing. There's a little guideline. It's used on cruise ships, although obviously not successfully, and you can use it too. And that is the Happy Birthday song. It's a song that pretty much everybody in the world knows. You want to sing the first stanza of the Happy Birthday song, not hurriedly. It's happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday, dear survivor, happy birthday to me. Notice that cute little pause at the end of the word survivor. You want to include that. You want to take that long. So 20 seconds, a minimum of 20 seconds at least, to wash your hands. That is how you wash your hands. And then when you're done, you want to dry them off without using a communal drying cloth. So if you have a drying towel in your kitchen that has been used by everybody for a month, you haven't got around to laundering it in weeks or months, and everybody's included children who go to school and are around petri dishes of other children all day long, or around teachers, that's not good. You're counteracting what you're doing. My best advice for drying your hands is actually very effective. Most people don't do it, but if you do it, get into the habit of doing it, it totally removes any possibility that you are going to counteract the good benefit of thoroughly washing your hands. And that is the water. The water is not going inside your hands. Again, we're talking about the miracle of your skin. The water is beaded on your skin. That is why your hands are wet, because the water is on your skin. So you don't need to do anything with it specially. You don't need some kind of special cloth. The way to get dry is that you knock that water off your skin. That's what you're doing when you dry yourself at the end of a shower or bath. You're knocking water off your skin. You're not doing anything else with it. So the way that I prefer, after a thorough washing of my hands, a compulsive, Rain Man-esque frequent washing of my hands, the way that I prefer is stand over the basin where you've just finished washing and just throw the water off your hands. You will find, and you can even listen to it when you do it in a kitchen sink, you can listen to the sound. It's very loud the first time, much softer the second time, almost inaudible the third time. And then after that, it's random droplets. And if you walk away like that, without ever touching a paper towel or a towel of any kind, in seconds, your hands will be completely dry, and you won't have touched anything. And then your hands will be clean. So there we go. Have we got that? Book 2. Have we got that? Let's make sure that we have that. Okay? So don't open mouth cough. Don't make Steve tell you, if you open mouth cough again like that on this crowded subway car, I'm going to put you off at the next stop, whether it's your stop or not. Don't make Steve or anybody else do that. Don't make parents shield their children from you. You don't want to be a monster, right? You're not the thing that came from the crypt. Don't be that person. Cough into your elbow or into your shoulder, so that the entire breadth of the expectoration is entirely absorbed by you. That's thing number 1. Thing number 2, don't infect other people, knowingly. If you know that you're sick, if you wake up tomorrow morning, you feel like you have the weight of the world inside your temples, you've got cold pricks of sweat, you know that you're sick, you know that you're ill, and you also know that you're communicable. I absolve you of this if, for instance, this new coronavirus that has made all the headlines, people are infectious without symptoms. They're infectious to others before they develop any symptoms of their own. I, of course, absolve those. But if you are feeling sick, don't go to work. Don't go to school. Don't send your kids to school if they're feeling sick. Don't do it. And don't give me dehumanizing reasons why you won't. How would you feel if somebody said, well, you know, my paycheck matters more than your safety? Well, that's what you're saying if you make that same decision, so don't do it. And also, the third tip, don't put your hands inside your mouth. Don't touch your eyes. Don't circumvent your skin. Let your skin do its job, okay? So don't stick the infected parts of your skin, collects this stuff and then waits for you to clean it off. But it doesn't go inside the skin. Most of it doesn't do that. Most of it doesn't permeate. So all you have to do to be your skin's best friend is to clean it regularly and not introduce those things into your body without your skin's permission. So don't do that. And the fourth and most important thing is wash your hands all the time. Wash your hands all the time. I have been horrified by what I have seen. Just horrified. Just today, I saw a mother and her 2 young children get on a crowded subway car that had people coughing on it. The mother and the kids touched the subway doors before they opened. The mother and the kids were touching the subway guardrails, the railings inside the subway to hold and keep their balance. And the mother and the kids had packages from stores where they had just been. They also had envelopes of McDonald's food, fast food. And they just started eating. They just started eating that fast food right there on the subway. That's no way to treat your skin. Your skin wants to protect you. Anyway, I know it's an off-book topic. We'll go back to books right away. It was on my mind, and I wanted to make sure we're on the same page. If you do those 4 things, you will be fine, almost certainly, unless you're French kissing with someone who's in the final stages of infectiousness. I wouldn't advise that either. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, but then we'll go right back to books. Thank you for the indulgence. Book 2.